Okay, the second video we're going to talk about uh, arrangement. But before we talk about arrangement and permutation, we're going to talk about factorial. What is a factorial? Because we need it for the formula. And factorial are the product of all numbers from n till 1. For example, it's n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 till 1. 0 factorial, it's 1. Always it's 1. 1 factorial is 1. 2 factorial is 2 times 1, 2. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1, 6. 4 factorial, 4, 3, 2, 1. Product 24. 5 factorial is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. So let us start by some simplification. Simplify 7 factorial over 4 factorial. Instead of writing 7 factorial as 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 4, 3, 2, 1 and cancel these. So directly I say it is 7, 6, 5, 1. I reach 4, so I write 4 factorial over 4 factorial. Cancelled out these two, you have 7, 6, 5. 9 factorial over 11, I start by the bigger. 11, 10. When I reach 9, I write 9 factorial. 9 and 9 cancel out. Here you can start 8 with 13 and 11 with 5 or whatever. If you're going to start by 8, you can start 8 by 5. Here I did it with 5. 8, 7, 6, 5 factorial, and down I have 5 factorial. Down I have a bigger number, 13. You have 13, 12, 11 factorial. So now 11 factorial, as you can see. 11 factorial, 11 factorial, 5 factorial, 5 factorial. So it will be 6 and 12 remains 2, 4. So it's 28 over 13. N plus 2 over n factorial. N plus 2 is bigger than n factorial. So n plus 2, you can start writing it as n plus 2. Eliminate 1, it will be n plus 1. Eliminate 1, it will be n factorial over n factorial. Simplify these two, it will be n plus 2 over n plus 1. N minus 1 is smaller than n plus 1, so I start by n plus 1. So n plus 1, eliminate 1 is n. Eliminate 1, n minus 1 factorial. Cancel these two, you have these numbers. So this is concerning factorial. Halla, we're going to start arrangement. Most of the students, people, not only students, everybody mix arrangement and permutation. So it doesn't, we can mix it together, but there is a slight difference between the two. We're going to talk about it while explaining. An arrangement of p elements out of set of n element is all possible outcomes of p element without repetition. Before in the p list, we had repetition is allowed. Here, repetition is not allowed. Once you draw from an error, you don't return it back before you draw another one. You keep it with yourself and then you draw another one. And where order is important, so the order of draw is important. For example, if you're going to pick numbers, and for example, from the set from 1 till 9, you want to pick 3 numbers. You all know here, and such that all numbers are distinct. We may not have repetition. So here it's an arrangement. Why? Because order of the numbers is important. Because if the first number is 5, then the second number is a 3, then 1. So we read it as 531. However, if you permute the numbers, so it's different. Okay. So that's why. What is an arrangement? Arrangement, repetition not allowed. You cannot return back the first draw, the draw that you're going to have it. Once you pick, you keep it with yourself, and the order is important. From the problem, you know if the order is important. If they don't mention it, you know by yourself if the order is important or not. For example, car race. Okay, the repetition is not allowed because a car cannot take more than one position at the final of the race, and it's the order is important because the first car will win. The second car will take the second position. The third car will take the third position, and so on. Suppose I said I want to pick 2 students from the class. Here, order is not important. I want to pick 2. But if I say the first one I'm going to pick is going to solve number 1, and the second one is going to get me papers from other class, So here order is important because the first one is going to solve the problem, the second one is going to get the paper from the other class. So here depends on the problem. Okay, now arrangement is by formula P out of n, where n, like in the P list, is the number of set. It's n factorial over n minus P factorial. How do we solve n factorial over n minus p factorial? Let us see here. Arrangement 4 out of 6, so it's 6 factorial, n factorial, the bigger one, over the difference between the two. So 6 factorial over 2 factorial is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 over 2, 1. So if you want to cancel, it's 6, 5, 4, 3. 6, 5, 4, 3. What does it mean? So you want to pick 4 elements out of 6. If you want to do it directly, so you go from 6 4 terms, 6, 5, 4, 3. If you want to do 11 factorial, arrangement 3 out of 11, so it's 11 factorial over 11 minus 3, which is 8 factorial. So 11, 10, 9, 8, 8 and 8 factorial 990. Directly you can say from 11 I want to go down 3. So 11, 10, 9, 8. So if you have 1 out of 6, directly you need to go one term from 6, so it is 6. 7 out of 7, so 7 factorial over 0 factorial is 7 factorial. 7 out of 7, this is called when you want to pick all the set, this is called the permutation. Okay, 0 out of 6, you don't want to pick anything, so just it's equal to 1. So here another thing we talk about, suppose I told you I want arrangement 4 out of 10, so directly you can say it's 10 factorial over 6 factorial, the difference. Directly it is, you go from 10 4 units, so 10, 9, 8, 7. هلا in the calculator you have it, it is shift times. You can see NPR in the calculator where you have the times, but always you start by the biggest number. So if you want to do arrangement 4 out of 10, you say in calculator 10, you press shift times. When you press shift times in calculator, you're going to get P, and then you write near it 4. When you write near it 4, you will get the answer 50, 40 that you found here. So what is an arrangement? An arrangement is order important and repetition not allowed. Repetition allowed, it's called plist. So let us start by the problem number 2. Let E, you have a set, find all possible arrangement of 2 elements. 2 elements, you want to write 2-digit numbers. So it's how many elements I have here? I have 4, so it's arrangement 4. How many elements you want to pick? 2, so it is, you go twice, so 4 times 3, which is 12. Maybe some of you in other classes in secondary 2 used to do it. How many choice of picking the first? I have 4 choices. I have picked a number, I'm left with the 3, so it's 4 times 3. I'm not going to use anymore this method. Let E be a set, find all possible outcomes of 3-digit numbers if repetition is allowed. When we say repetition is allowed, it's P-list. So how many elements I have here? I have 6. How many one I want to pick? 3, so it's 6 cubed. Where repetition is not allowed, so since repetition is not allowed, it's an order because you're writing a number. The order of the numbers is important, so I want to pick 3 out of 6. So directly it's 6, 5, 4, as you can see. More problems. In a competition of 10 students, find all possible outcomes of the first 4 winning. أكيد the order repetition not allowed because I have 4, each one will win a certain prize. No one can win more than 1 time, and the order is important, so it's 4 out of 10. So 10, 9, 8, 7. An urn contains, يعني a bag contains 5 red, 3 black, and 7 yellow marbles. We need to pick 5 marbles. How many marbles I need to pick? 5. Find all possible outcomes of getting 2 red followed by 3 yellow. 2 red, I order important. I didn't say I want to return it back. When I don't say I will pick the first one, return it back, then picking the second. So I want to pick 5. Picking 5 one after the other and keep it to yourself. So it means I need the first 2 and order important. So this is an arrangement. So I want 2 red followed by 3 yellow. So I want 2 red. So how many red I have? I have 5 red, so it's an arrangement 2 out of 5. And then I want 3 yellow, so it's 3 out of 7. So it's here, the answer will be 5 times 4. And then from 7 you go 3 times, 7, 6, then 5. I want the first one is the only red. So order important, I want the first one the only red, and the other 4 can be anything. So the first one is the only red. So how many red? The first one is the only red. The other ones will be black and yellow. So the first one is red and the others are black and yellow. How many red I have? I have 5. I want to pick one. And then 4 choices can be from yellow and the black. How many yellow and black I have? 7 and 3, 10. So it is 5. Then I go 10, 4 times 10, 9, 8, 7. I want in this order red, yellow, black, yellow, black. So how many red I have? 1. Order important. So 1 out of 5 arrangement. How many yellow I have? I have 2. So directly I have 7 yellow, 2 out of 7. And then I want 2 black. Black, how many black I have? 3. I want 2, 2 out of 3. So the answer 1 out of 5 is 5. 7, 2 out of 7 is 7 times 6. And 2 out of 3, it's a 3. You go twice times 2, and the answer will be 1260. To enter a gate, we are going to use 7 keys, which are, we have 7 keys. We have 3 open and 4 not open the door. Find all possible outcomes that the door will open from the second trial. To open from the second trial, it means the first one not open, then open. So order important. And repetition, certainly, you're not going to get the key and return it back. So we're going it's logically, we're going to pick the keys until it opens. So I want it to open from the second. So how many not open in the first one? I have 4. So I will pick 1 out of 4. Then I will pick open in the second. Open in the second, it will be 1 out of 3. Suppose I said it will open in the third one. So here, the first 2 will not open, so I say 2 out of 4, and then 1 out of 3, it open in the third one. The student association in a school is going to select secretary, treasurer, 2 treasurers, and such that the secretary must be from grade 12 and the treasurer from grade 11. The number of students in grade 11 is 25. This is 11. Here we're going to pick from grade 11 the secretary from grade 12. So from grade 11, we have the treasurers. We have 2 treasurers. And we have 12 in grade 12. We want to pick secretary. 1 secretary. So how many possible outcomes? Certainly, one cannot take more than 1 position. So repetition not allowed. And the order is important. If Eli was a secretary and George is a treasurer, you cannot, it's different than permuting the position between these 2. So that's why it's an arrangement. I want 2 treasurers from grade 11. I have a 25 in grade 11, so it will be 2 out of 25, and 1 treasurer, it must be from grade 12, so 1 out of 15. So it's a 25, you go twice, 25 times the 24 times 15. You can do it in a calculator directly. You have this answer. So what is this is called arrangement. A permutation, as I told you, everybody say permutation, arrangement, all the same. But there's some difference between the 2, but it doesn't matter if you say permutation, arrangement, permutation, it doesn't matter. Permutation is we're picking all the set. Suppose we have we pick n out of n where order is important, so it will be n factorial over n minus n factorial over 1, it will be n factorial. For example, suppose, let me give an example. Suppose you have a set, for example, an urn containing 5 black, 3 yellow. I want to pick all 8 balls from this one. How many, where order is important of the draw, how many possible outcomes you may get. So how many one you have? You have 8. It will be arrangement 8 out of 8. So it will be 8 factorial. This is called permutation. You can write it as directly P of 8. If I say I want the first 5 to be black, and the last 3 to be yellow, it will be permutation of 5 times permutation of 3, or 5 out of 5 arrangement, because they want the first 5 order important to be the black, and then the other last 3 must be yellow, 3 out of 3. Or even if you're going to say I want the order to be black, black, yellow, yellow, black, black, yellow, black. So in this order I want it. So how many black I have? I have, as you know, 5. So I say arrangement 5 out of 5, or permutation, I can write it, permutation of 5 times permutation of 3. So 5 of 5, it's called also arrangement, but permutation, it's definition, it's n out of n. Okay, this was the lesson about permutations. This is the video. The last video of counting, it will be about combination. Thank you for listening.